Evening, everybody. Welcome to the third ever episode-ish of Q&Asa, where the past, the present, and the future of gaming may converge, they may not, and we'll just sit back, relax, and talk about all the things we want to talk about. So, if you're new here, it's unlikely. If you're here, you already know how this show works. What we're going to do is we're going to talk. We're going to talk about games. We're going to talk about whatever else we feel like, but it's a big conversation. So you talk to me, you talk to each other, it goes back and forth, and we just see where it ends up. There are things to talk about today, I'm sure. Not least of which are things that are coming to Gaming Arcadia as I try and get my act together and do stuff over there. Stuff that's going on in my game development life and stuff that's going on in actual games. Painful Discourse, I'm glad to see you there because you aren't in Discord anymore, and I was concerned that I'd done something to offend you in the last Dark Souls 3 stream, but didn't think it was likely because I know you weren't a big Discord user anyway, but just got a little notification that you'd faded away, and I thought, oh no, what did I do? Did I fail too many times on trivial Dark Souls 3 enemies and upset Painful Discourse so much that he couldn't stand no more? But fortunately, I don't think that's the case. We're all right. That's all the housekeeping. That's how the show works. You know how it goes. So let's just talk about some things as people trickle in. I have gone a little bit earlier than usual as well. Final Fantasy 14 Legend is here. Thank you, James, for being here. I'm obviously not a Final Fantasy 14 Legend, or at least I hope I'm not, because I've not done anything noteworthy in that game. But you could well be as the world's foremost Xbox player of Final Fantasy 14 in terms of hours and probably achievements and all the rest of it. I mean, it's a short list of about 6 people, but I reckon you're probably top of that list. So good work. Are you playing it right now while you come and talk and listen? I've been playing. So when did I last do Q&Asa? It wasn't that long ago. It was only 2 weeks ago. So what have I been playing in the last 2 weeks? Some games. Tell me what you've been playing, because that's how it goes. This is where I get my recommendations from, really, is the things that you lot have been playing and the things that you tell me are good, bad, ugly, indifferent, whatever it may be. The fuck? I'm recording this at an unnecessarily high quality. Never mind, we'll ignore that. The fuck? That's weird. Anyway, yeah, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitch. Doing it slightly different to usual. You've probably noticed, actually, I don't have a game background behind me today. I thought, behind me, are they just 4 doors? I am in a world of doors. I am, the Keymaster from the Matrix, and the little behind the scenes, behind the Matrix area that he runs you through. That's where I am right now. Twitch is weird. Is it? Tell me what's weird about it, Amin, and tell me stuff about what you've been playing. I know you've been playing Counter-Strike. Tell me more things. I want to know what's weird about Twitch, though, because I'm not well set up on Twitch. I'm not well established on Twitch. I've been streaming on Twitch for, I think, 38 years. There's no mic sound on Twitch. Oh, my goodness. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? Right. Oh, why not? One moment, please. Blah, 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 blah. You should be going out to Twitch. But it's not. I didn't want technical difficulties, but what will be will be. So let's have a little flick through. Default. Blah, 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 blah. No, still not. Oh. How about now? That's weird. I apologise, people over on Twitch. You've missed out. There was background music, there was me talking, there was much to question, but it's alright because Twitch isn't really a watch back later kind of platform anyway, so people can just come along and be none the wiser that I had a technical ineptitude. I had apparently dragged the volume slider for the microphone all the way down to minus 60 decibels, so it was working. Finished Bold Boy. What's Bold Boy? I knew you were getting into Shadow Man Remastered. And you finished it, so you must have enjoyed it some. It's good. And Siren's Rest is the DLC for Still Wakes the Deep. See, that surprises me that you went back to that, because I know people were okay with Still Wakes the Deep, but I didn't think people typically liked it well enough to revisit and play DLC. But you obviously did, so that's cool. Is the DLC better, worse than the main game? And oh my goodness, Painful Discourse, that's a list. So you finished Shadowman Remastered, Shadowrun Returns, unrelated to Shadowman, Shadowman, similar names, very different games, and Banisher's Ghost of New Eden as well. Chronic, you're not that late. You just, especially you're over on Twitch, so you being late is a perfect example. It means you don't even know that I had no audio working on Twitch. You don't even know what a bellend I am. Craig, I knew it would happen one day. It's been on my bucket list for a while. Now I can tick that one off. It didn't go down quite how I anticipated, but yes, keeping Craig company in his bath ticked off the bucket list. Thank you for the announcement. So one of the things that I was playing actually it was with Craig. It's a bit of a shame we didn't stream it on YouTube and stuff because we had quite an entertaining playthrough of No Way Out. It was pretty funny and quite enjoyable. So No Way Out was the kind of precursor to It Takes Two and Split Fiction, the first of those kind of co-op games from Joseph Fares. And it was pretty good. Not as good as the later ones in terms of polish and all the rest of it, but arguably better in terms of length because it didn't outstay its welcome. We got through it in 3 little sessions. It was nice. So yeah, mash that X button fast as you can and such as the mini games. Yumi, welcome. You can ask a question now. There's also the question box, but you know, we can try. Stick it in there. Go for it. And tell me what you've been playing as well, because you were telling me about Monster Hunter earlier as something that you were playing, and you said instead of that you had deviated and you had played... What did you tell me you had played? It was hours ago, I can't remember. I mean, you've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike 2. Do you feel, because you play Counter-Strike 2 on a specific server, right? So old school, the way that games used to be, you've not got skill-based matchmaking and your progress isn't measured in that way, but it's in a sense measured in a more real way because you're playing the same people again and again. Do you feel like you're improving? Vibe. Still waits to do. The DLC was a different vibe to the main game. The main game was a lot of walking and hiding, right? Why do I have 4 doors behind me? James, I explained that already. It's because I am the keymaster. When I need to dip out into the real world, I get my keychain, open whichever door I feel like, appear wherever I want, meddle with the matrix, and then disappear off again. What other explanation is there for me having 4 doors behind me? I don't know what to tell you, James. I don't know what to tell you. I thought I'd disguised them well with these little display posters that you'd never know, but... Yeah, No Way Out. I played that. What else? I have played other things. Oh! Ashes of Creation. Isn't that a shame to have been playing? I wonder if it still works. I should have tried to launch that today to find out. Ashes of Creation was and kind of is a massively multiplayer online RPG that aimed for an old school feel, being like server based, not like World of Warcraft and all the rest of them. They instance and merge players and try and make everything seamless and smooth, and it's very much follow the quest marker, follow the quest hub kind of path laid out before you. Ashes of Creation went for the old sandbox route with servers and communities that were kind of fixed in place more in the way that games used to be 800 years ago when I was into them, and it was not ready for an early access launch, and it felt very much not ready for an early access launch, and it felt kind of shady that they did an early access launch. But little did I realise just how desperate the situation was, because a few weeks after the early access launch, they fired the head of the studio. Well, the head of the studio stepped down from disagreements with the board over ethical practices and whatnot related to the massive layoffs that followed, and they got rid of the entirety of the studio, everybody that was working on the game. So Intrepid Studios, the team that were making this game for the last 7 years, that was funded on Kickstarter and all the rest of it, are now not Intrepid Studios. They're a board of directors directing nothing because there's nobody there anymore. They haven't actually come out and formally said anything about what they're going to do with the game. Obviously it's not healthy and it's not likely to last much longer unless legal wranglings go around and somebody else gets to take hold of it and take it forward. So you never know. I'm optimistic, but that is the thing that I was playing, and I enjoyed playing it. And the only reason that I stopped playing it was that it is a dodgy early access launch and they are going to wipe progress somewhen before launch. I don't like sinking hours into a game that's going to be slate wiped clean at some point, so I didn't. But otherwise, yeah, I was really looking forward to that coming out, and now it's not. Now it's not. He and his wife were only 2 people on the board from some report. That seems unlikely, Painful Discourse, that he would have left the company for ethical differences with his wife. If that is the case, then there's going to be, relationship difficulties, and it makes his statement all the more unusual. It would be quite funny, like in a cruel way, if all of this talk about him and his board were husband and wife situation. But no, I think there is actually a board there. You never know, they could be wrong. Maybe he had a massive row with his wife over whether or not they should pay their employees. Fundamental disagreement that led to studio closure and a divorce. Probably not funny for him if it's true, but I think there probably is a board of some kind involved. I don't know. There was a rumor that progress in the Grounded 2 PTBs would be wiped when the update went live, but it was untrue. Yeah. The thing with the Ashes of Creation one though, Craig, is I've searched pretty far and wide to find out, because it's an obvious question. In the way that they launched the early access and referred to it as it's still an alpha, it's still a testing period. So you think, yeah, they're going to wipe it, but at the same time, they're selling this for real money. So it should be quite easy to find clarification on what their plan is for characters in progress, and what kind of value there is and what kind of point there is to putting any time into this thing. It wasn't listed anywhere. This is a massive assumption from the community that, yeah, it's going to get wiped. Which, fair expectation, but I'm not going to risk putting hundreds of thousands of hours into the game on that premise. Especially not now that it's probably not going to launch at all. Very sad. So, Grounded to PTB. They're not going to wipe the progress of the mainline version of Grounded 2, are they? The early access thing. That would be weird. I mean, you play a lot of deathmatch. Are you playing deathmatch because it's fun, or are you playing deathmatch as training? Because Counter-Strike's not a deathmatch game. And you want to get better to the point where you can carry the game solo. Can you do ranked deathmatch, or is that not a thing? That would kind of suck. But where's Isla? I don't know. I'd have to go through one of those 4 doors behind me with a magic key set, teleport around to her part of the world and find out. You heard that Steam is investigating Ashes of Creation. I mean, they're going to have to, aren't they? Because everybody that's bought it as an early access game is going to be demanding a refund, or expecting a refund. And it was, I think it had a fair number of people playing it, not like Arc kind of numbers or Counter-Strike kind of numbers, but enough people that you can't sell a game and rug pull 3 weeks later or 2 weeks later or whatever kind of time frame it was. So whether there's any money to refund, I mean, the way that Steam works, all of the money that people spent on it probably hasn't gone to the developer yet, because there's a fair window to cater for this kind of situation. So refunds are likely, I would say. Oh, you played against pros. Please send me your autograph immediately. And how do you stack up against the pros, I mean? Wait a minute. James has just renewed his membership. Thank you, James. So yeah, the channel in general, I neglected like an arse. And the Discord server, I was there, but also slightly neglected. And I can't do that. I decided, I had a little inflection point a week or 2 ago where I had to decide, do I keep investing money into these things that I don't have? Or do I give it all up and penny pinch and just focus on my game development? And I cancelled everything. I cancelled all of the Discord server boosts. I cancelled all the servers and stuff like that. And then I felt a big hole. And that wasn't the right move. So I've re-established all of those, but it is a thing that I can't afford. So memberships and things like that are a massive help. And to that end, I will still be doing Q&Asa, and the Arcadia Roundtable podcast is coming back as well. Not this weekend, but the following. Some community circling I need to figure out who's going to be on there all the time, because I want it to be very much a community-driven podcast, and need to get that all sorted and going. But yes, everything getting more active again, so memberships and things like that are very much appreciated. And if you've got if you're just sitting on Discord Nitro, then stick that on the server. You know, if you're using it somewhere else, it's no problem. I'm not like wrangling that kind of stuff from you, but if you're just sitting on it, please just stick on the server. It allows me to cancel one of mine and save me a little bit, so it does help. Definitely Luke will be on it, James, definitely I'm going to be on it. Probably going to get a few guests on it, but I am background looking for the right kind of personality to come and sit and be person 3 and all the rest of it to keep it running nice and smooth. I don't like approaching people for either permanent or guest stuff. Yumi, what was your question? You had one and I missed it. You said, here comes the question, and you probably asked it and I skipped it. Priorities and remove unnecessary expenses. I have removed a lot of unnecessary expenses. It was very difficult to cancel Ubisoft Plus, but I did. Not emotionally difficult. It wasn't a difficult decision, like should I cancel Ubisoft Plus? I love that service, I use it all the time. No, I've been subscribed for 4 years or something, and I don't think I've ever used it. But I tried to cancel it about a year ago, and it gave me some AI generated picture of a can't remember what, riding a flaming unicorn or something, with a 404 error that said you can't find this page, the page that you need to go to cancel the subscription. So I didn't cancel it a year ago. I was more determined last month, so I had another look, tried to do it again. This time it gave me a different error. Every time I followed the link to cancel the subscription, it took me to the subscription onboarding page and said, oh, what kind of subscription do you want? Like, what tier are you going to pay for? I said, no, I'm trying to cancel it, not set up a new one. And I got so frustrated that I deleted the entirety of my account. So I've not got many Ubisoft games attached to that account. I've got like Star Trek Bridge Crew and a couple of things like that, and some old Assassin's Creed games that I never played because they're Assassin's Creed games and I don't do it. But yeah, I deleted the entire account. Gone. You'd think that was enough. 2 weeks later, I got an email saying we've billed you for your Ubisoft Plus subscription again. I was like, what? 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 My account is gone. I try and follow the cancel link to delete it, and it's like, no, that's not going anywhere. I try and log onto the account, it's like, no, that's not going anywhere. The way that I eventually got it cancelled was by signing in using the Xbox profile. Turns out my account wasn't as deleted as they said that it was, and I managed to get an actual cancellation through from there. So now, fingers crossed as best I can, I'm going to get through next month without a bill for Ubisoft Plus. What more can I do, Yumi? That's cutting the expenses. I've cut a lot of other things as well. I'm historically terrible with subscriptions. I've been cutting because at the moment I work part-time, so I'm not completely like on my ass, but I work part-time and I spend most of my days working on my game development little journey, which is going to be long and slow and arduous because it's actually quite difficult to make games and stuff. There's a lot to learn and slow progress, but I'm doing it. So yeah, doing all the things I can do. I don't think the question was about the Muffin Man, but no, I've never encountered such a gentleman. I've sold twice now, Chronic. Wouldn't that be something? Is your price increased, doubled up, Ubisoft Plus subscription? One of us never going to leave. Yeah, I don't recommend anyone signs up to that service, not least because obviously Ubisoft had a reshuffle and like cancelled most of their games, delayed the rest and all the rest of it. It was already a low value service. Now it's a more low value service. My sub cancellation is what killed Prince of Persia. I'd go along with that, Replicant, if they hadn't then charged me again after the cancellation. So I'd say it was my fault, but no. No, it happened first. Yeah, they cancelled a bunch of stuff. That service already, like I'd already laugh at the monthly emails where they'd say, oh, it's Ubisoft Plus for your 15 quid or whatever it was. You've got new skins for some Uno cards and there's a season 28 of Rainbow Six Siege. Good luck. And that was just awkward. I should no longer get those emails. I shouldn't feel bad about cutting the game servers. They don't get used enough to warrant it. I know, Craig, but I wanted to keep them. What I do need to do, so they should still exist at the moment because obviously it's like monthly cycle. I cancelled it and it hasn't rolled to the end of the last tariff yet. I mean to go on to, at least for Enshrouded, probably Palworld as well, to go onto them and download all of the configuration and save files so that when the time comes, I can re-establish those and we can carry on our little adventures. Because I like having those things. They're one of the more like real and tangible benefits that I can offer as that kind of community side of things, because obviously like my time and attention isn't worth shit, but servers, those were kind of a cool concept and I want them back. Don't kill the Silent Dome. No, Replicant, those are all good and fine. The only thing that would have happened there, worst case, was just audio quality and possibly video quality would have tanked down. But no, I'm keeping the Discord server up where it is, so you're alright. You can still silently stream World of Warcraft. I'll occasionally pop in for a few minutes to see what you're doing on your little priest, and yeah, Amin goes in there for Counter-Strike 2 as well, which is all good. Somewhere along the line, someone will jump in and see what World of Warcraft is all about. What else though? Because there's still games. So Ashes of Creation, I played that. I think I'd finished Expedition 33 last time I did Q&Asa, so we can skip over that. I've started to forge on pretty hard with Final Fantasy 16 because that's been an ongoing game for fucking ages. Really, fucking ages. And sometimes it's brilliant and sometimes it's awful. And when I say sometimes it's brilliant, never is it a Final Fantasy game to me. Like, never is it a mainline Final Fantasy RPG. But it is really good for other reasons, other things that it does. And you just don't get games that have that ridiculous a budget, and the budget is ridiculous, and I hope Square Enix find a way to keep it up. But I'm closing in on the end. I cannot wait for it to finish because the lulls in story pacing and the side content have gone on long enough. I need all of the big, dramatic, climatic, exciting stuff to crescendo and end, and let me put that game behind me so that I can move on with the many other things that I've got lined up. I've got many things lined up as well. So, same director with Yoshi, but yeah, does anybody know who's doing 17? Has that been announced yet? Like, I know they haven't announced the game, but do we know which studio or director is working on it? Have there been any hints in what direction that it's going to go? Because obviously I adored Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, and I do consider those like proper modernized Final Fantasy games, because they do keep enough of the kind of RPG elements, and obviously they're just a fun tribute to Final Fantasy VII. So looking forward to the third one of there. 17 will be an MMO. That will be a crazy way to kill Final Fantasy 14, James. Why would you wish for that? I'm not saying you are wishing for it. You didn't say you're wishing for it, but I would give it a go if it is. But I'm not expecting it. I'm expecting another. Well, Square Enix have been through some shit as well, haven't they? And we know that Final Fantasy is a tricky beast for them because just because the budget in them is absurd. Like, you can see it when you're playing them. Sheer size and volume and detail in there. And so Final Fantasy 16 is, I think, visually top tier. It doesn't do the whole path tracing thing, but it's top tier to look at and play. And that shit's expensive. So today, like, you can see why they would look at that as a series and say, we're spending this much money on it. We can't really cut corners because it's our tentpole game, but what can we do to change it to make it more commercially successful? Let's hope that there's nothing slimy in our way. Always the danger with any publishers and all the rest of it. Can't even begrudge them. They're just navigating the world as a publisher must. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to ending 16 more though. Right. How's the raiding in Final Fantasy 14? See, there's a lot of it on Twitch and stuff. Like, people are quite into the raiding on there. I don't know how it compares to World of Warcraft. And I don't know if they have the same, like all the mythic stuff, the difficulty tiers, if they've pulled that across in the same way. Or if it's more casual and nice all the way through. I don't mind either way. I know it has, I know you can do most of its content without other people, but presumably not the high-end rates. Oh yeah, World of Warcraft is another one I played a little bit, but only a little bit. I don't think I'm going to get the current expansion. It doesn't sing to me. I've not followed the first expansion. This one's the second part of a trilogy. I've not followed the first one. Don't know the characters. I remember the sun well. Of course I remember the sun well. I was told to remember the sun well by so many NPCs that I remember the sun well. Time is money, friend. But yeah, there's no draw to this second expansion for me. Not story-wise anyway. Build a house? Yeah. For who? I'd jump on it. Again, I've said this many a time, but I'd jump on it if I had people to play with. But what I played of it was about as antisocial as Blue Sky. No human interaction for me. So, I don't know. There's many other things to play that I should probably play over World of Warcraft. I'm sure I'll get the bug again. Like, it's the cycle with me. Within the next 4 to 6 months, I'll be pulled back to have another look at World of Warcraft. But I think not just yet. Jams? This is jam, if that's what you mean. Anyway, more people tell me what you've been playing, because, you know, tell me more. You're grinding Gathering. So Final Fantasy XIV's Gathering is a little bit different to Warcraft's though, right? Because they're jobs with quest lines. I'm not saying they're good quest lines or that they're worth doing, but it is a different approach to node farming that you do in World of Warcraft. As far as I know anyway. Not the expert on the topic. Don't judge me for being wrong. Unless you want to. It's fair, really. What else? I'm sure I've played some other things. I've downloaded Fire Emblem Path of Radiance because that's supposed to be a good Fire Emblem game. A lot of people love Fire Emblem Three Houses, and that doesn't fill me with confidence in the rest of the series. But I love tactics RPGs in general, so Fire Emblem should be high on my list. And I think Path of Radiance is not set in a school, which is a massive win, so I intend to go and play that soon. I intend to play Final Fantasy Tactics soon. I intend to play Pillars of Eternity soon, and Pillars of Eternity 2. And I intend to play Tainted Grail soon. And I intend to play Dispatch soon. And what's the No More Robots one? Earth Must Die, Fall, I don't know, new one there as well that I want to play. Lots of things I want to play, so I need Final Fantasy 16 to get out of the way. Grounded 2, not so much on my list, Craig. But, you know, when it gets its version 1, I might have a dabble. Survival games still haven't entirely clicked for me. They will one day, but they haven't yet. And Shrouded was kind of close, but then I deleted the server. So, I mean, you're not supposed to like the bugs. You that's fine. Oh, Monster Hunter Wilds, that's the other one I was talking about earlier. I'd quite like to play that. I remember prior to last year, that was one of my most anticipated games of all of the games. Like, high confidence that would be something I really wanted to get into, and then I never even bought it. So, and it did have like it had some performance issues, apparently, supposedly, not firsthand, I haven't played it, but the PC version was supposed to be a little bit ropey, and that's supposed to have been fixed now. Endgame content is supposed to have been kind of fixed and fleshed out now. There's lots of reasons for me to go and try it, so I probably will go and try it soonish. What else? Loads of games that I want to play, but that's not what we're here for. Talking about the games that we have been playing. Dispatch is the GOAT. I've only heard good things about it. I do like that kind of game as well. The one that I mentioned from No More Robots is, I think, not the same, but in the same kind of vein, in that it's a interactive cartoon of a sort. And it's like £9 or something. So, Craig, if you love Dispatch, you should probably check that one out as well. No, I'm not going to find the trailer. I'm not going to find the trailer. Because I'm not really set up for that kind of thing. Got to change everything. Should go to a sex and buy old consoles and buy F-Zero X. Can you not play F-Zero X on the Switch already? Is that not one of the like Nintendo Online back catalogue titles? Like my Fire Emblem game is. You beat Kronos, yeah. FCW, was it fun? You said that it's great. That's like probably should be on my list, but I don't know. My list is too long already. So the release of Monster Hunter Wilds was a bit shit because of the lack of challenge, but they fixed it over time. It was only like a couple of weeks back at most. They did the big performance overhaul as well. It's supposed to run a lot better than it did as well. I'll be running it on like a beefy PC, so it should be fine, but now it should be extra fine. Extra fine. I think, so I played a little bit of Monster Hunter Worlds, and wasn't a massive fan of the combat feel, but my taste may have evolved through the many games that I've played since. And I think Wilds might be a little bit more kind of snappy and responsive than the previous ones were. Or it might not be, but I think it's a thing that I should try for myself. So I'll have a little shop around at some point. Not today. You finished Khan Kurd lost that, how do you say that word, you know? That's the stacking stone things, right? Isn't that like a climbing game? And explore and climb and stuff? Tell me more stuff. Because what other topics are there? What's going on in the gaming space at the moment? Or is this going to be a really short Q&Asa? Oh, I can tell you about the game that I've been making and my progress on there. Over time, I'll try and include like little dev updates in Q&Asa, but I've not got a lot to offer at the moment. I'm on some of the drier parts of it, trying to pull pieces together. So like boring stuff like being able to save the game is stuff that needs figuring out. I've got a really cool loot system going for weapons and things, and I've got really good systems for applying and managing fire, ice and lightning spells, and I've got currency working. Like my enemies will drop their currency in the way that they're supposed to now, and they'll drop their experience. I've got player leveling up working, but I haven't got quite a few of the other core systems in place, and as I do each one of them, it becomes more and more difficult to figure out where each bit of data is best kept for like sensible, manageable forward development, because I don't know what I'm doing. I am just a random bellend who decided to give it a try. I'm not following best practice in any way, and I'm trying to keep this from getting massively unwieldy and hard to manage going forwards, but it's kind of going really well as well. I haven't started, and the reason I haven't got much to show and won't have much to show for a while is I've not even made a dent in learning the art side of things, how to make proper assets and stick them in the game and all of that kind of stuff. So that'll be a little while. You're looking forward to playing Reanimal with your buddy. It's going to have split screen co-op, as in actual split screen, or as in couch co-op, because that game I didn't think the screen would need to split. I thought you could just stick close together on it. That's a good co-op game playing in my ears right now. So couch co-op, yeah, good. So what have we got? I don't know. That's all the news that I've got. We've got Resident Evil's had some stuff going on. You've got that coming out at the end of this month. I know people are excited about that. I haven't done 7 or 8 yet. I got like a few hours into Resident Evil 7 in VR, but that is a slog. So what felt like a 14-hour play session to me was probably about 14 minutes and probably not far into it at all. And I don't know if I'll be going back to it. Joe's excited for the new Resident Evil. It's supposed to be more action focused like Resident Evil 4, right? Where I think it's supposed to be split depending on which character you're playing, but broadly the presence of Leon means that it's more Resident Evil 4 than it is like 7 or 2 or the more tense horror kind of ones. James, you've decided that Japanese games are the best. Bold. I grew up more so on Japanese games. There was a time where that distinction was more meaningful to me, but I don't know. I like stuff from everywhere pretty much. I have a massive soft spot for the Japanese RPGs, and generally storytelling, but also a massive like shielded, calloused hard spot against high schools. So that rules out like a fair few of them. Love that games don't understand their obsession with high schools. Can't wait for Resident Evil. You hope the merchant will be in since Leon is there. I don't know, so I've never played any version of Resident Evil 4. It's a lot of people's favourite Resident Evil. I've never played beyond the first like 20-30 minutes. I've not played any version of it properly. So I like Resident Evil as a series, but I don't know, it's horror, so I don't get into it, right? Horror is good for streaming though, so maybe I will. Maybe I should carry it on, or maybe I should try and do my playthroughs in VR like a true brave soldier. Or maybe. You've never played Resident Evil 2, but not Resident Evil 2, but Resident Evil 2, like as well as me. I've played, so James, it's not that I've never played Resident Evil. I played the original ones, like tank control ones, up to Code Veronica. And I've played 2 and 3 remake, and those were brilliant. So good as remakes. But I've not played... Oh, I played 5 with the mean as well. 5 and 6, that was more recent. I played 5 and 6. Make of those what you will. I know Luke is a big fan. But I've not done much of 7. I've not touched 8. And I've not touched 9. What are you buying? I'm not buying stuff. Oh, FTW, buying from a merchant. Painful Discourse, you can help with assets. You're planning on going back into design and concept art, and you need some exercise regardless, no pressure. So, but you were 2D assets, right? Painful Discourse. So you said you could do some shaders and textures, I think. Yeah, so at the moment I'm quite a long way off of applying any kind of art because I want to do I waver on what I should do next because I'm really looking forward to kind of getting into Blender and making things. I have no experience at all with making things in 3D software, but I quite want to learn. But I think I should kind of drill down on systems first, the stuff that I am kind of getting a handle on. So more code. Get things working in that way. But somewhere along the way, and it was probably a little way off, I may well give you a little line and talk about it in Painful Discourse, because I definitely can't see myself getting it over the line without help somewhere along the way. So at the same time, it's great fun to piece together and crack on with. So having a lovely time. Pixel Slapper, did I say Blender or Brenda? I definitely said Blender. Welcome, by the way, it's been a while. How you doing? Blender, let's see, I don't actually know, most of the work that I've done so far has been within Unity, and it doesn't reference like external tools very much at all, but Blender is free and renowned as a kind of 3D modeling and asset bit of software. I'm gonna need to explore the wider internet to find out more about it and see what the kind of pipeline is for making things, because you can make things within Unity to some degree. It's got its own animation systems, it's got its own stuff, but I think the way it's going to be Blender to Unity and figure out where the animation side is best operated when I get that far. I'm going to be terrible at that, by the way. My game's going to be ugly as fuck. I'm not very artistic, but I'm going to enjoy it, and it'll be unique for being terrible. Or maybe, like, in terms of actual, like, going way back to school days and art stuff, I was much better working in 3D space than 2D. I'm not good at drawing. I could make shit out of clay, so maybe it'll be the same. Maybe Blender will be my clay and I can make stuff I'm not ashamed of. We'll see. Looking forward to finding out. You thought that I had a speech impediment, but realised it's you who talks shit. No, I definitely said Blender and meant Blender and intended Blender. Don't even know anybody called Brenda. But if there is a Brenda that could help me, I'll be happy to talk to her. Yeah? Yeah. Help me, Brenda. If you're out there. I don't know. What else have we got? I don't know. I've got... Didn't even have Resident Evil as a topic. Had Ashes of Creation stuff. A little bit of... English pronounce their words silently. Like, whole words being silent. I have... I don't think I massively mumble, but I do have NVIDIA Broadcast clearing out the sound of some of the background noise in this room, and it can take away some crucial letters in the words that I say. And also, it deprives you all of my beautiful singing voice. Because I would sing all the time. And, oh, damn, I am good at it. But the microphone's like, that's not a person, and it strips most of it out. So I've learned not to sing very much. You don't say the, Craig. Fair. No worries, Pixel Slapper. You've not said anything that you need to excuse at the moment. Oh no, not the butter matter bottle batter. Yeah, no, I do. I'm okay with my teas usually. Okay with my teas usually. Probably not, and you can call me up on it when I don't. But my parents were, because I'm definitely from an area that would drop every single one of those teas. But my parents were quite strict on it, so set me up right for a YouTube career, they said. Shows what they know. I don't have a YouTube career. And you do, Craig, and you say Amin's name a lot. I asked him about it because Demon Hunter's name is Amin, and Craig says Amin a lot as one of those like speech filler things that people do when they're running into a sentence. And I asked Amin if it gets confusing, but he says he can handle it. He can cope. It does get confusing, but he's got used to it. Takes a little while to process and determine whether someone is talking to him or not. Amy. Amin. Pixel Slapper, you're not the only Scouser here. Craig, you must know. You must know that you say I mean a lot. Say it to yourself out loud now. And you'll hear Amin's name coming out of your mouth regularly when you're not talking to him. It's what it is. But you're not the only one, and he's got used to it. Shit, don't worry about it, it's fine. I just thought it was funny, because, you know. So, I don't have anything else. Stick questions in the box if you got questions. I'm having a last minute thing. What do we got? The Steam frame will be coming soon. That'll be delightful for VR. Oh, Meta went full dickhead and started closing all of their studios. I think that had probably happened prior to the last Q&Asa. I don't have a lot to say on it. I don't like Meta anyway, but they were the only thing carrying VR for a number of years, and they've decided to stop carrying it. So now we need to hope that there's some reinvigorated energy in the scene when the Steam frame comes out, which will be a better place for that energy to be rather than Meta anyway. So not necessarily all bad news. Bad news for all the people that exactly, Craig, know what I mean. But your accent in particular is like, know what I mean. It'll be the same. That's not your accent. I'm not saying that's your accent, because that wasn't even an attempt at a Leeds accent. I wouldn't do that because I'd offend everybody in Leeds if I did. Same for that, James. I'm not going to read that in a Scouse accent, and I'm not going to attempt to say Coke in the way that you do. You mean you've got 3 accents? Do you switch between them consciously, or do they just slip out? Yeah, that's it. That's all I've got. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I don't know. That Sonic Racing game sold 1 million copies apparently. That's more than I expected. Not enough for Sega, but more than I expected. I wouldn't mind having that, but it was never worth 70 quid to me. Very few games are going to be worth 70 quid to me. That's not true, actually. If I had loads of money, loads of games would be worth 70 quid to me. But right now, no. Meta killed the Wrath of Asgard studio. Yes, they did. Sanzero, whatever they were called. They were a damn good VR studio. It was already, like, they'd already kind of ruined things, though, by making them make Asgard's Wrath 2 a Quest game only. Because Asgard's Wrath 1 was a beautiful PC VR game. Like, shackled by conventions of pancake games to some degree. It wasn't like a perfect VR game or anything, but it was beautiful. And still is beautiful. If you get an opportunity to go and play it, then do, because she's quite a stunner. But Asgard's Wrath 2 was Quest exclusive and toned way the fuck down from the first one. So that was already Meta's influence that I wasn't a big fan of. I'm hoping that if Steam Frame becomes like the hot VR, as it were, it's not going to be that hot, but if it becomes like the prominent VR in some capacity, there's a lot of quests out there, so this isn't going to suddenly happen, but if it becomes what people are a little more focused on for a while, then we might get back to getting some decent PC VR games. And off the back of it, PSVR 2 and all the rest of it, but obviously it's not going to solve any of the problems around there being no money in making VR games, so they're still not going to be big, but change of ambitions will do that. Will do me some favours. Pure expletives, yes. Yes, Yumi does have her outbursts. It's fair to say. Yeah, okay. I mean, sorry, I wasn't talking to you then, but Yumi, there's I guess no one else here that could really use that one openly in the way that you can, but what else have we got? What else have we got? VR is struggling a bit. It has been for a while, Replicant. It's one of those things, it has to align itself against people's expectations of pancake games, and it's a very different economy, very different scale. So I think one of the things that was a real death knell on the PlayStation side of things was the reception of the Horizon Call of the Mountain game. Because people were pissed that it wasn't big enough. It was like a 50 quid game. And they were pissed that it wasn't as big as a proper Horizon game. But that was like it's a useful lens to look at VR in general, because the game was never going to sell like a pancake equivalent. So it couldn't have the budget of a pancake equivalent. And that's where VR has been for a long time. People's expectations are based on what they've got in mainstream games, and their kind of perception of value is based on what they've seen in mainstream games. So VR developers have not been able to charge money for the games that they're making. Am I going to do a time lapse for Forza Horizon 6? Well, Pixel Slapper, no, that game has seasons, and it would be kind of interesting to do it like that. Is the stream buffering? I think no. On this side of things, zero drops of any kind across Twitch or YouTube. So if it is buffering for you, then it is YouTube's side that is doing it. There's not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. I'm sending everything out smooth and perfect. But can always flick over to Twitch. But besides that, I can't offer much. So no, Replicants made my day. I need to know that it's okay for someone. I get very upset by technical difficulties, but like if what I'm sending out is not dropping anything, then there's not that much that I can do about it. I could, presumably on YouTube side of things, if I added a little more latency, then it would probably have a little more buffering space. But I don't want to add latency because it doesn't suit, like, this is a conversation and it doesn't work if I have to wait 30 seconds to hear what you say back to me, so. Oh yeah, Craig, you don't count. You couldn't stay connected to No Way Out for more than a minute. Of course you're going to have stuff buffering. An FTW, yeah, is like a tin can and a bit of string to the moon is how he gets his internet. So if it's working there. So. I have run out though, so I think it might be questions time coming up. Don't know if anyone's put any in yet. I'll figure it out in a minute. Are there any other stuffs going on that should be spoken about? Mentioned briefly the podcast is coming back. I put an announcement on Discord actually on what's going on with the Gaming Arcadia stuff. That's already there. So if you haven't already had a little look at the announcement channel, then do have a little read, because it's more or less an update on where we are and what's going on. Probably the ads content coming up. So YouTube doesn't have adverts. I've got them all disabled. So, oh no, I've got them set to manual. So unless I press a button to put adverts on there, then you shouldn't get adverts. And that's not a button that I'm going to press. So yeah. Should not be there. What else? Yeah, so podcast is coming back. This show is obviously here and happening. Dark Souls 3 is happening in a minute. Oh yeah, Dark Souls 3 is a game that I've been playing that I completely forgot to talk about. I'm brilliant at Dark Souls. It's going great. Breezing through it. I'm going to get to... I hear there's a dancer, a boss called Dancer, who's going to ruin my life for a while, because I'm already dying on the bosses that nobody has mentioned as being difficult, so much to look forward to, and I'll be getting onto that shortly to have a good play of it. You're outside McDonald's sitting on a bench with us. Wait a minute, with your spy costume and the Metro robbing their internet. But what's a spy costume? What does a spy wear? Like James Bond was a suit. Hitman was a suit and then whatever attire he could borrow from various things, and I don't know any other spies. So, Bloodborne next. No. Next is going to be the Elden Ring DLC. And then I'm not committing to doing more Souls after that. There probably will be, but I might have a Souls break, you know. Or I might just pick another one and crack on. But it's definitely finish Dark Souls 3, then go on to that Elden Ring DLC, and maybe mop up some of the other stuff that I missed on Elden Ring. Well, you're right, Craig. That is because they're spies. So that's why I don't know what a spy costume is. They'd be quite easy to identify if they had like a specific attire. They'd be crap spies if we knew them all, yeah. And if Pixel Slapper is able to like spot them by their shoes or whatever, then he's solved it. Game over. Replicant, you grab Bloodborne to try on the PC emulator. Tell me how that goes, because I don't like to fuss about frame rates. I can typically adjust. Takes a little bit for playing, but I can typically adjust and play a 30 frames per second game okay. But Bloodborne isn't 30 frames per second, it's 30 frames per second delivered in the wrong order. It's like it runs its frames like 1243, 1243, 1243, and it gives it this horrible stutter that makes me feel a little bit rough when I spin the camera. I'm usually quite... I can play most things without that, but Bloodborne was unpleasant. But I want to play it, and I've heard the PC one probably solves most of that, but you're a person that I trust, Replicant, so you give it a go on the PC emulator and tell me if that's the way to go. I own Bloodborne, so I wouldn't feel bad about playing it on the PC side of things. Got it on, I think it might even have it on disc, can't remember, probably got both. Has bad frame pacing on console. Yeah, it's not even, so Digital Foundry did a thing on it at the time, and it's not so much, like they're paced perfectly in a sense, in that you get them at the right cadence. You get them on there like, I don't know, 33 milliseconds or whatever it is for a 30 frames per second game, but they're in the wrong order. It consistently jumbles 2 frames up. So it's quite a pronounced stuttering. How that came to be and how they never went back and fixed it. They lost the password, as we know. So, Dark Souls 3 is fantastic. You've seen Dave Mac playing it on Steam. Yeah, Dave said not long ago, whenever I was last streaming, he came on and said that he's at about the same place in the game as I am. So, FTW, you've seen the same things that I have seen. Pixel Slapper, you're dressed like everyone else, hiding in the crow's #1 rule of spy costume law. That means, though, you're not just dressed like everyone else. Like, you've literally knocked someone out and taken their clothes. That's what spy attire is. If Hitman has taught me anything. It's just a regular costume. You could be dressed as like a security guard or a mechanic or a chef or whatever, but because you stole it, it is a costume. What did I just see happen? What was that? What was that? What was that? There's some text and it's so small I can't read it. Wait a minute, everybody. I don't want to miss it and be rude. But I can't remember how to work a PC. Does anyone know? Here we go. Oh, it's Craig. Member for 21 months. What can we do to get the numbers up for community games like the days of Halo Infinite when Wandering Dutch joined us? I would have done it if I know the answer, Craig. One of the things that I think will hopefully help is me not neglecting the channel anymore. Alright, so having the podcast and this going and things like that hopefully makes it a little bit more open. But it is a difficult thing to convince people that we're worth playing with. I think we probably are. Digital Boundary have no foundation considering Sony technically own them. I don't know Digital Foundry's ownership now or then. I think they were associated with Eurogamer, but possibly independent back then, or possibly owned by whoever owned Eurogamer. Then they went to Ziff Davis, the IGN people, and then they bought their independence from them. And if Sony own them now or not, I don't know. But them saying that Bloodborne had a serious technical issue doesn't imply that they were swayed by Sony to gloss over it. So, not seeing much reason to doubt what they said on that one because it wasn't positive. Digital Foundry is fully independent. I mean, knows what you mean. Consistency and building momentum. So, yes, I mean, but you know, I'm erratic, and it's what keeps things exciting. No, we can but try. All right, just we'll keep playing, and if it ends up just being 3 of us again, then so be it. Because we still had fun. I had fun when it was only Craig. Can you imagine? It was only Craig, and we still had a good time. So there will be more, and we'll keep trying. So, shall we? Because I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Don't know what I'm talking about. We'll move on and we'll talk about questions if there are any questions. I'm going to have a little look at that. And then I'll mosey on over to some Dark Souls 3. And obviously we can carry on a conversation while I'm getting my arse handed to me. Crushing Souls on that one. So, how does it work? Questions. Isla normally does this for me, but she's AWOL. So, that's not it. Why is it there? Here we go. Questions. Hey, Amin, I'm being very consistent in streaming. I am streaming today, and I'll be streaming after this. That's 2 streams in a row. What more does anybody want for consistency? Yes. So, first question. There aren't many questions, by the way, so get them in there if you have any. But this is FTW, and it's going to be a short answer. Have I bought Shinobi yet? You know that I haven't. I did try. I tried Team U Shinobi, right? Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, is it called? That came out at about the same time as Shinobi. That dropped into Game Pass. So I gave that a go. And it was kind of pants. Didn't enjoy it very much. Got through the tutorial, got through the first level, beat the first boss of it. That's enough for me. Don't intend to go back and play it. Shinobi, I think, is probably like an order of magnitude better based on the excitement that you have for it. So I will get it at some point. I should have included it on the list of things I want to play soon, but you know, Money, 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 money. Everything's money. Everything costs lots of money. And making a little game doesn't give me any money. Not for a number of years, and even then, it's only maybe. So I will get it when I can, FTW. Isla, you're too late. There's only one more question. And it is, has anyone played Routine yet? Luke has played Routine yet. He's not here right now. And he said it was really good, like really good. He said it was one of his top 10 games of last year, and Luke plays a lot of games, so... No, it's tied at 7. Come on now. You started Routine. Routine's not high on my list to get to, because there's too many things on my list to get to. Although that is a Game Pass one, isn't it? So maybe it should, like, get a more prominent position on account of... Not tell you, I told everybody. Very public news and information. But don't worry, you've not missed out. You've not missed out. Has anyone played Routine yet? So yeah, no, like I say, Luke thought it was really good. And like, his opinions are pretty solid. And FTW, you said you like Kronos. Luke was a big fan of that as well. So if you haven't played Routine yet, that's probably a recommendation that should resonate with you. So give it a go. When is Pokemon Cozy Game out? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. March. Yeah, there we go. I was waiting for that. I knew someone would know. I knew Isla would know. Because she's also waiting for it, I think. Routine was too scary for you. Do you have like a low threshold for scary games they replicate? Like, do you play other ones? Or is this one particularly nasty? Daughter's looking forward to the Pokemon game. Yeah. I'm not particularly. I do want to play more Switch 2 stuff in general. Again, like Switch 2 games are typically 70 quid, so again, expensive, but there's quite a few that I would play if they were just readily available to play. You don't do well getting chased in games. Fair enough. So I assume Routine has a bunch of that. Is it, well, I guess you wouldn't have played Alien Isolation much either. But there we go. So it's not so much. Would you play like stuff like Kronos though, where you fight back a bit more? I'm assuming in Routine you're relatively powerless and you spend a lot of time trying not to be murdered, murderized, killed, caught, captured, made dead. Okay, fair enough. For me, the scariest game ever is and remains Echo the Dolphin. There will never be a scarier game. Wait a minute, shit's happening again. What one is this? Isla, member for 31 months with a little dash. And also a member for even more months than that over on Twitch, where I started streaming beforehand. Crazy. And you definitely don't need to, but thanks. Thank you. You're old school. Dracula Christopher Lee just looking into the camera scared you. I've never seen that. I've never seen that, but again, I can't imagine it tops Echo the Dolphin. So Echo the Dolphin has like the added horror of the deep sea and limited oxygen. Everything about that game was terrifying. Terrifying. Imagine my joy when I hear they're making more Echo the Dolphin at the moment. So, I think Routine has got a lot of puzzles, like good puzzles or Resident Evil puzzles. His bloodshot eyes sent shivers. Was that... I apologise for my naivety, but was that a black and white film? Deadlock has been building momentum. They're adding a new hero every week and added a non-MOBA mode for casuals to enjoy. So it being MOBA mode was kind of interesting. When I did play it, like the first time around when it kind of launched, soft launched, alpha launched, whatever, I didn't particularly get a good feel for it, but... Weird puzzles, not at all like Resident Evil puzzles. curious. Puzzles are a very difficult thing to get right in video games, especially in this age of YouTube and all the rest of it. But I quite like the puzzles in... I played something that had good puzzles at some point recently, and I can't remember what the fuck it was. Oh, the Torment Souls Nuns game. I can't remember what it's called. But it had pretty good puzzles in it, as horror puzzles go. In that everything was quite grounded in the world. But anyway, it's time to wrap up. I'm going to be like 10 minutes or so before rolling over to some Dark Souls 3. And over on Twitch, really I shouldn't stop and start, but I'm going to because it's just Twitch. It doesn't matter at the moment until some kind of momentum builds over there. So once again, everybody, thank you for coming and talking to me. This would be hella boring if people didn't come to talk to me. I'd just be staring at the camera going, I don't like that guy. But that's not the case. There's always a good little turnout and a good little conversation. So much appreciated. This will be, I'm not going to say every Tuesday, but most Tuesdays we'll have Q&A. So typically my streamy kind of days, I'm trying to maintain separation between the development stuff and streams, but I will typically stream on Tuesday, which includes Q&Asa, on Thursday, which will frequently involve Amin if he's around. Here's a fine artist poster, isn't it? Good times back then, good times. That was a good expansion pack. Fridays we'll have community games that will typically be streamed. If I'm not streaming, it means we've probably ended up playing them in Discord, but usually it'll be streamed. Saturdays will be the podcast and hopefully more community games. And Sundays I'm going to leave open as I don't want to get in trouble with my wife, but Sunday will probably also quite often have streams. And then we roll around again. So in terms of the consistency that Amin demands from me, that's what I'm trying to pin down and stick to at the moment. Yeah, that's it. So Dark Souls 3 in about 10 minutes. Good? Good. Discord or ever. Get in Discord. It's good to talk stuff. Actually, I need to get off my ass and get the spoilers section going, because that's one of my most enjoyable parts of it, even though it's not being used. There's the like all the reviews and stuff, but where you can have spoiler-filled conversations. I would never engage in spoiler talk on social media and stuff like that, but a place that's dedicated to it, it's a good place to talk in depth about games that we've all enjoyed or not, or all the rest of it. So try and get that going in the near future. But yes, for now, thank you everybody. See you in Discord, and I'll see you on Dark Souls 3 in like 10 minutes. Bye. Bye.